Have you ever experienced a man showing interest at first, texting, making plans, only to suddenly disappear without explanation? You try to find a reason, replay every conversation, but the truth is, in most cases, his withdrawal has little to do with anything you did. This behavior is tied to unconscious mechanisms of the male mind, and understanding this completely changes how you respond to the situation. When you grasp this dynamic, you realize there's no need to chase, insist, or try to bring him back at any cost. Many men pull away even when they feel something real, not due to a lack of interest, but because they experience emotional connection differently. While for many women, deepening feelings create a desire for closeness. For some men, intense emotions can trigger an instinct to withdraw. This happens because in the male subconscious, strong emotions can be interpreted as a threat to freedom. It doesn't mean his feelings have disappeared. Rather, he needs time to process them before taking the next step. Moreover, the element of challenge plays a crucial role. When a man feels that you are always available and predictable, without any effort on his part, the drive to pursue diminishes. He only truly values your presence when there's a possibility of losing it. This effect is directly linked to how the male brain works. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for desire and motivation, is activated in the face of a goal to be achieved. If he perceives that he doesn't need to do anything to earn your attention, the urgency to act fades away. When he pulls away, many women instinctively try to pull him back with questions, demands, or attempts at clarification. The problem is that this has the opposite effect. The more pressure he feels, the greater his need for distance. What truly matters is not the words you say, but the energy you convey. No matter how amazing you are, if he senses any hint of neediness or insecurity, he will pick up on it even unconsciously. True attraction happens when he feels that being with you is a genuine desire, not an obligation. Reversing this dynamic doesn't mean manipulating or playing games with his emotions. It's about developing authentic emotional security. Instead of waiting to be chosen, you take on the role of the one who chooses. This subtle shift creates a natural magnetism because he begins to see your presence as a privilege, not a given. When you radiate confidence and emotional independence, the roles shift. He no longer sees the relationship as a responsibility, but as something he genuinely wants to maintain. This happens not because you imposed rules or made demands, but because your energy became irresistible. In the end, it's not about convincing him to stay. It's about becoming someone whose presence is desired and valued. By understanding this dynamic and acting naturally, he will start missing you in a genuine way and come back, not out of pressure, but because he truly wants to be part of your life. The true essence of an authentic person cannot be fabricated or forced. It naturally emerges in those who live fully, feel at ease with themselves, and find meaning in their own journey. When your life is filled with purpose, passions, and experiences that bring you happiness, your presence in a relationship becomes a valuable addition, not a necessity. This creates a magnetic effect. He realizes that being by your side is a privilege, not an obligation. And that perception is what separates unforgettable women from those who go unnoticed. Often the mistake that pushes even an interested man away is the anxiety to maintain the connection at any cost. When he starts showing less enthusiasm, some women try to compensate by texting constantly, increasing involvement, and making excessive efforts to reaffirm the relationship. But this approach signals emotional dependency, which instinctively may cause him to withdraw even more. Male desire is driven by the thrill of pursuit, not by the obligation to meet expectations. If he feels emotionally pressured, his natural instinct will be to seek space. This doesn't mean his feelings have disappeared, but rather that he may start associating the relationship with a loss of freedom. The key is not to hold on to him, but to allow him to feel on his own the desire to come closer again. This has nothing to do with ignoring him or playing games of disinterest. It's about redirecting your focus to yourself, to what nurtures your confidence and personal fulfillment. Absence has a powerful effect. If you are always accessible and available, he never gets the chance to miss you. But when your life follows its own rhythm independent of him, your presence is no longer guaranteed, and that awakens his desire to be close. Many women believe that making him miss them requires strategies, like carefully planned messages or suggestive social media posts. But what truly creates this feeling is not calculated tactics, but rather the emotional experience he associates with you. People miss connections that left a deep impression, not artificial interactions. When you become the center of your own life, without relying on anyone's attention to feel complete, it creates a subtle yet irresistible shift in the dynamic. He starts wondering where you are, what you've been doing, if you still think about him, or if you've already moved on. This mystery reignites attraction in a genuine way. Men are naturally drawn to what holds value and presents a challenge, not in a manipulative sense, but in a way that commands respect. When he realizes that he needs to put in effort to maintain his place in your life, his interest intensifies. But this mindset should not be a strategy. It should be a natural outcome of your self-confidence and emotional independence. Being a magnetic woman doesn't mean waiting for validation from anyone. It means investing in yourself, deepening your passions, nurturing friendships, and pursuing your own dreams. When he sees that you continue growing, shining, and evolving, with or without him, his perception shifts completely. At that moment, he doesn't just desire you. He understands that being by your side is an opportunity he cannot afford to lose. When a man realizes that your presence is not a necessity but a choice, the dynamic shifts. Absence creates space for longing, and longing ignites desire. He may pull away momentarily, but he will never forget a woman who left a genuine mark on his life. Many women find themselves trapped in a cycle of uncertainty, trying to decipher inconsistent behavior. He shows interest, then disappears. He says beautiful things, but his actions don't match his words. He seems engaged, then suddenly grows distant. This raises the question, does he truly care, or is he just keeping you around without real commitment? The answer is never in what he says, but in what he does. Genuine interest is consistent. A man who truly cares doesn't show up only when it's convenient for him or when he's bored. He makes an effort to be present, regardless of his daily routine or challenges. When there is a real connection, no forced effort is needed. His presence comes naturally. Moreover, a man who values you shows it through actions, not just words. It's not about grand gestures or exaggerated declarations, but about paying attention to the details. He listens to what you say, remembers your preferences, cares about your well-being, and actively seeks to be part of your life. Small gestures speak far louder than empty promises. If his presence makes you feel insecure, or constantly question his feelings, that's already the answer you're looking for. Real interest doesn't create confusion. When a relationship has true reciprocity, you feel it naturally, without needing to interpret signs or justify unstable behavior. If he disappears, only reappears when it suits him, or makes you doubt your worth, the truth is simple. He's not as invested as you'd like. That can be hard to accept, but it's also liberating, because a man who truly cares would never let you feel that kind of uncertainty. Everything starts with how you see yourself. When you realize that you don't need to chase anyone's attention, your energy shifts. The woman a man truly desires is not the one trying to fit into his expectations, but the one who knows who she is, values herself, and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. A confident woman doesn't emotionally overwhelm anyone. Her presence is appreciated. She doesn't seek someone to fill an emotional void, but to share a life that is already fulfilling. And when you reach that state, worrying about those who pull away loses its weight. Your focus shifts to what strengthens you, what makes you feel good, and what you truly deserve to experience. Instead of asking if he likes you, ask yourself if you like who you become when you're with him. Instead of analyzing his every move, pay attention to how the relationship makes you feel. And above all, never settle for less than what you know you deserve. If this content resonated with you, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more insights on self-worth and relationships. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been in a situation where a man disappeared without explanation? Thanks for being here, and see you in the next video.